Hello, welcome back. Welcome to Postcards 33, Grab Bag 5. It's been quite some time, a couple of months since I've done one of these. And I put together a small collection of postcards, which I'm now going to bring out before your very eyes. Now, here's a little quiz. Where's this? Quite frankly, it could be in many places, couldn't it? Any rural, pleasant area. I'll give you a clue. It's Binham. Do you know where Binham is? If you do, you could win a prize. 2 weeks in Binham. Now, this is by Philip Wilson Steer, 1860 to 1942, and it's children paddling in Alderwick in 1894, and it's from the Fitzwilliam Museum, one of my favourite museums, if not, yes, in fact, my favourite probably, in Cambridge. It's a small museum, but it's brilliant. There we are. Isn't that lovely? It looks Dutch to me, though. It could equally well be anywhere else, but there we go. This is something a bit different, just very down to earth. It's a postcard with all the pubs in Bath that they can cram in. Coeur de Lion, King's Arms, the Hot Pole, so it goes on and on, the Pig and Fiddle. It's rather good because it's got the contact telephone numbers for some of them and the picture for just about all of them. In fact, it is all of them. Bath Heritage Pub Crawl. Well, I reckon if you went to even half those pubs and had a pinter or less, you'd be doing rather well. On the back, it's sponsored by Abbey Ales Limited. So it's a good form of advertising, at least in my opinion. There you are. That's the back. There you go. This is slightly more painterly. This is the River Scene, Sandwich in Kent. And once again, it's from the Allen Gallery, who tell me that they're applying for a grant, that so many of their finest works, the most valuable, which isn't quite the same thing, are in storage, and they want to get them out, but obviously they need more space and also more security. And so they're desperately attempting to get funds at this moment. Well, I think that's lovely. And this is actually done by W.H. Allen and now hangs in the gallery, the Allen Gallery in Alton. If you're wondering where that is, just go up Normandy Street, which is the sort of it's the high street, isn't it? Turn left towards St. Lawrence's Church. Before you actually get there, on the left is the Allen Gallery. You can have a cup of coffee. They'll greet you most warmly. They have second-hand books, nothing fancy. You can also go out in the garden, which is nice. They have the little seats there for old people like me. And yeah, it's all very good. Now, here's something which is probably my favourite of this collection. This is called the Wayfarer. It's a watercolour done just before the First World War. There we are. I'm just attempting to move that back because it's got that blue light on it, that blue dot. And there's the Wayfarer. And he's got a stick with a handkerchief presumably tied to it and something inside there, possibly bread and cheese, I don't know. This was, again, done by W.H. Allen and hangs in the Alton Gallery, the Allen Gallery in Alton. I can't say, actually, I remember seeing it there. Don't ever let that stand in the way of buying a good card. There you are. It's blossoming, isn't it? But the trees are blowing. I've got a book about the countryside, and it talks about upheavals that trees suffer, and that to some degree it's good that they do. Sometimes trees in clumps, the weak ones don't get weeded out, and sometimes a tree that stands in isolation You think, well, it needs, it needs fellow brethren. But in fact, that wasn't the case. They also explained which way, if the tree goes down, you can tell which way the wind has been blowing, which maybe here nor there. But meteorologists do take an interest in these matters. So there was a fair bit in the chapter about wind. So there you are. Now, if you can understand what this is, you're a better man than me, Gungadin, because I can't understand what this is. This is by Frank Auerbach, who is still alive. He says that it is. Says that he is. Oxford Street Building, Site 2, 1960. And this is from Australia. It's been printed in Australia, but it's from the Culloden Gallery in London, which is near, almost on top of, I suppose, what was, but isn't now, Somerset House. Possibly it is still Somerset House, but it doesn't have all the family records in it. I can't make head nor tail of this. I may even be showing it to you upside down. But one thing is for certain, I like that sort of thing. There you are. Now, here's something entirely different. Ooh. And I've got good news for you. This wasn't done by Picasso. This was actually done by the vicar himself, David McKeeman. It's painted by the rector, and there's St. Mary the Virgin, Silchester. Silchester has a very large excavations there of Roman antiquity, and from time to time the students from the local university dig it up and explain it to the public, but they are obliged to put certain things back again. So they explained about where the Roman baths were and so forth, but there is a lot to see, and it does stir the imagination. Anyway, this is not Roman. This is a church. There we are. Quite like it, though. Quite like it. There you go. Now, here's something when we go north of the border. Oh, Mexico way. What have we got here? Oh, it looks almost tropical. Look at the colour of the... I was going to say the lake. There's the Loch. Now, this is on the way to Fort Augustus. So if you were not stopping off, but simply going through, where is this? I'll give you a clue. You might see a monster. Yes, that's right. It's Loch Ness. It's Loch Ness and the road to Fort Augustus. There we are. It's quite an old and small card. I say quite old. It might be 50 years old. I don't really know. It looks nice, doesn't it? The road looks a bit crude. And it's got an old flint, presumably wall, in need of a bit of cement. It's crumbling away. Now, have you got good eyesight? Because if you have, you'll like the next one. This is by my old mate, Klimt. Look at that for a dusky maiden. This is from the Royal Academy exhibition, 250 years of the Royal Academy. Lady with cape and hat, 1897 to 98. So in other words, he spent a year. Black and red chalk on paper. The Albertine Museum, Vienna. In other words, you aren't likely to see in a hurry the original of this. All the more reason to get a card. I really like that. I think that's very special. She looks wistful, but yeah, she's not going under. And he signed it right in the corner. See that? Klimt. See? Can you see it? Can you see the signature down here? There we are, anyway, even if you can't. Now, this is something else. When I was a young man and a kid, this would have been more interesting to me then than now. This is a battle fought on April the 16th, 1746. The last hopes of Prince Charles to retain the throne, that's not our Prince Charles, to rend the throne from the Stuarts, who were crushed on Culloden Moor. On the battlefield are the graves of the Highlanders, marked by stones. Words here and here, bearing the clan names. Also in the picture is the memorial cairn. The site is in the care of the National Trust of Scotland, and it's an Arthur Dixon card. Now, what is it commemorating? And the answer is from 1746, the Battle of Culloden in Inverness-shire. There we are, not an obvious thing. Not much to see there now, maybe. I remember going up to Dundee for chess, and we stopped the car at a battle site. I can't remember if it was Culloden. There's lots of them up there, aren't there? And I spoke to the farmer, who instantly got down from his tractor and went up some steps into a little hut. And I followed, grateful. And he showed me a sort of diorama, a little model, scale model. It was quite fun. Unfortunately, my friend was bad, ill-humoured, didn't come as well, so I thought that was a bit mean. Having gone all that way, I think he might at least have made the effort to get out the car, don't you? But he didn't. Well, we've had a fairly strong Alton flavour to most of these cards, and we conclude with another one from the Allen Gallery. Here we have a young lady that looks eager to please, and a younger one who looks less eager to please. This is Ice Cream and Juice Bar, and it's a watercolour from W.H. Allen. In other words, again, the eponymous. Somebody's having a drink. And that's the juice, isn't it? And the ice creams are 3D, so that will show you it's an old picture. And the young lady looks lost in thought, almost going off into a dream, or if not quite a trance. Dream and a trance aren't necessarily the same things, are they? So there you are. Hope you enjoyed that. I've been James Pratt. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.